It's time now to do a crossover to London for an opening call with Juliana Olayinka. Good morning, Juliana. So businesses and trade have been asked to advise on safe ways to restart the economy. What are the guidelines for them, and how much time do they have to make their submissions?
Good morning, Bissy. Next week marks the 6th week that Britain has been in lockdown, and due to government law, the Cabinet have to give Britain an update on just exactly how we will be exiting the lockdown. This is the first time that we've actually heard that a document or a blueprint is being outlined by the Business Secretary, Alok Sharma, and it really comes after a lot of businesses, business owners and speakers of business, lobby groups have asked for more clarity on this. We've seen, especially in Britain over the past couple of days, that a lot of businesses have taken measures into their own hand, setting out their own guidelines. So this announcement says that over the next couple of days, I believe by Monday, there will be a document that basically goes through some essentials for Britain's new normal, how to perhaps change the day from 9 to 5 to stutterings during the day and several other things.
UK banks have been accused of taking too much time in approving the COVID-19 business interruption loan. Any explanations from the banks as to why this is happening?
Well, this is a growing row, and it seems to be getting louder as more people are getting tired of the lockdown and not seeing money coming into their bank at the end of the month. The scheme, since it was introduced about 7 weeks ago now, has been mired with controversy. And really, yes, it has come from the bank. It's an 80% guarantee by the government, but even that 20% alone for some banks is deemed as too risky. A lot of banks, because of the pressure that they've been getting from the Bank of England, have had to cancel their dividend, and especially with the biggest 4 lenders, many of their shareholders are outside of the UK. They don't really care about the UK economy or, of course, whether or not businesses here stay afloat. And that's the challenge. So what business leaders have been saying is that when a lot of these businesses are approaching the banks, their scrutiny is too intense. They face weeks' worth of waits for credit checks to be confirmed, etc., etc. Now, the banks have hit back at these claims, saying that they're being too harsh. They say that they themselves are struggling with staff shortages. It's such a big document. This is new legislation, and they said they're trying to get their hands around it. But to try and minimise the impact of the failed scheme, some would say it has failed. We did hear last week that the Chancellor said that they will be offering loans of up to £50,000, which will be available within 24 hours of somebody applying. That loan scheme, that business bounce back scheme, is available on Monday. But so far, of the 50,000 applications that have been put through to this scheme, I believe there's about 28,000 that are still pending.
Let's talk about British Airways now. That airline has told staff that its Gatwick airport operation may not reopen after the coronavirus pandemic passes. Are things that bad for BA?
Well, things are exceptionally bad for BA, not just BA. All airlines around the world are really struggling. Just a couple of days ago, BA said that they plan to axe a quarter of their staff. Maybe axe is too much of a harsh word, but they certainly admitted that they are going to be having consultations with unions about restructuring and redundancies. Just this morning, Ryanair, the budget airline, said that they also would be cutting 3,000 staff. We haven't had any comment from BA about this latest development, but it comes from a report that the BBC have uncovered, whereby chief executives wrote to some staff members saying that, of course, you know that we cancelled or grounded some of our flights at Gatwick last month, and we don't know whether we will or if we can ever reopen flights from Gatwick. Now, that's a pretty stark warning and what's been a pretty harsh couple of weeks for the airline industry. Of course, they, I would say, are probably the largest casualty when it comes to airlines. And at its peak, Gatwick takes about 180 British Airways flights a day. The fact that British Airways are saying they may not be able to reopen there just shows you how stark it is. And also earlier in the week, Gatwick execs did say that they don't expect passenger numbers to return to what they were pre-COVID for at least 5 years. So, yeah, shocking remarks there. And it just shows just how deep the aviation industry will be suffering.
Thank you, Juliana, for these updates. We'll see you again at 1:30.